Welcome to the Mind Basketball Podcast, aka the M.O.B podcast. I'm Evan.
And I'm Ja.
And this is our basketball podcast where we recap, break down, analyze players and teams from the previous games from the previous day. How are you today, this Thursday afternoon, Ja?
I'm doing good, doing mighty well. How are you? How about you, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm here, so ask for anything better, right? I hope everyone having a good day. I hope everyone will have a good day. Much happened around the association last night, and we're gonna get right into it. Starting off with the rematch of the Eastern Conference Finals between the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat. And this was a I guess back and forth late in the fourth, but first Celtics really had this game. They really had this game in the first half, and then the Heat kind of came back, made their little run. Then the Celtics made another run. Looked like they was about to close it. Then the Heat made a final push, tying the game with 20 seconds left. Mm-hmm. And then Peyton Pritchard of all people.
No, don't do that. Let's give him some credit. I'm not gonna lie. He's been the underlying thing,
player for the Celtics.
The bright light. He's been the underlying bright light of the Celtics.
I know, but I'm in terms of clutch shots, it wasn't Jaylen Brown, it wasn't Jason Tatum. It was Peyton Pritchard with the game-winning put-back layup to seal the deal and give them the big win against the defending Eastern Conference champions.
Yeah, but let's talk about how it led up to that though. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Let's be honest. My son Tatum, he hit a three. Dunk Tatum. I can't say the words. I was like, I can't even say the whole lyric.
But you can say it, you can block
it. Oh yeah. Dunk on that nigga, Tatum. And it's like, he made that three. And then, Jaylen Brown makes a three. And then, Miami Heat, Duncan Robinson, he makes his two big threes. And then, next thing, it sets up that play right there.
And then Goran Dragic.
Oh yeah,
Goran Dragic. He misses a three. Bam Adebayo gets the rebound, passes it back. The Dragon doesn't miss twice. So, he hits the second time, and he ties the game with that.
Mm-hmm, you see? So all those sequences of events led up to that final moment. Marcus Smart being aggressive as he was, even though he probably didn't have the best of games in terms of being able to stay out of certain situations in certain moments. He tried to go up for a big play, go in the layup. He missed it, but yet Peyton Pritchard was right there to secure the putback, and the Celtics was able to run away.
You happy?
No, that's what he did. You didn't see him do that.
Oh, Peyton Pritchard?
Yeah, Peyton Pritchard. When he made it, he was like.
No, do your thing, young fella. Do your thing. He was excited. That was just the raw emotion coming out of him. I'm not mad at him. Wait, if you keep making game winners like that, do whatever you want.
Exactly. But yeah, just like what you said, man. I don't think there's nothing really much that could be said. You said it all. The Celtics had a big first quarter. Then the Heat looked like they were making a little bit of a run at the end of the first half, and then it was just close, just exchanging buckets and trying to play defense in the third, and then the fourth just became them. It was in spurts. One team was making a run at a specific point, and the other team made a run at the specific point, and then the Celtics was just able to take it with that final putback.
Yeah. This was a really, really good game. The Heat, I was kind of surprised by how bad they was playing in the first half. The Celtics is really putting it to them with their 3-point shooting, and as I said, Tatum and Brown has just been on a tear. No one's been able to stop that duel. They up there with the best, one of the best duels in the league right now.
Yeah, they should be.
Yeah. Tyler Hero didn't really have that good of a game. What?
Nah, because I was like, I thought you was gonna bring up the meme, the meme mug.
No, I'm not gonna do that to him. But the media not gonna like that. He's there. He's the reincarnation of Larry Bird. He can't be bad games like this, right?
Oh man, that's kind of disrespectful towards Larry Bird.
But Jimmy did show up. I feel like this is his first good game that he's had so far, or great game that he's had so far this season. He's been injured, And now I felt like he finally got into his own with this game. But even though it was close, and even though they find their way they come back. At the end, Celtics just was able to finish them off. They was trailing behind too many times in the game,
Yeah.
and they had an opportunity to win, but Payton Pritchard said no. But yeah, let's leave it at that. Good win for the Celtics. Let's see what they can do down the road in this Eastern Conference. All right, and the next game that happened was the battle in California between the Clippers and the Warriors. And this was a really much kind of how the Mavericks and the Rockets game went like a
Yeah.
few days ago, just a little different
Yeah.
with the Clippers having the lead. The Warriors kept trying to come back, and then Clippers extending it just little by little. And then the Warriors eventually in the fourth quarter got the lead, but then the Clippers was able to just run away with it
Take it
towards
back.
the end of the game and win.
Yeah, the Clippers had it going to start off, and then, let's be honest. In the beginning, the stars in this game didn't have a really good beginning within this game. They struggled to get their flow, get their rhythm,
Mm-hmm.
and as a result, they had to rely on the others to pick up the slack, and they came up big. Let's be honest, they came up big. The other for Golden State, especially Eric Pascal, he had, I think, like 15 points in the second quarter. He had like 15 points in the second quarter. Andrew Wiggins was balling. Kelly Oubre, he didn't have the best of games in terms of efficiency, but
Again,
he kept doing. He look at he's playing hard. That's all you ask him to do, play
you're
hard,
right.
right?
You're
He
right.
was
Oh,
doing his thing right there, and they kept finding
still
ways.
can't shoot.
Nah, he's not. Nah, he still can't shoot. You're right. He still can't shoot, but they was finding way. Those other guys stepped up to keep the game close, and when it got closer, they had the opportunity and they took the lead. But the Clippers, being the Clippers, they said, "Nah, that's not happening." Took it right back, and they were able to run away with this.
Yeah, I mean, you said it in terms of the stars not being able to, not really playing good, especially Curry. Curry had an off night.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't. I mean, he couldn't shoot in the ocean. Like, like this was the only highlight that I can think of was, I mean, when Patrick Beverly was putting on the clamps on him, and then he just still made a three in his face. But yeah, he really struggled tonight, which is rare for Curry, someone of Curry's caliber. So I'm not gonna, you know, exaggerate and all that. But as you said, yeah, the bench players had his back. The other pieces around him had his back. But it's really hard to win against this team that the Clippers have when your best player isn't playing up to that level, and that's really what happened.
Exactly. There's nothing. There's no excuse. You're playing against a Kawhi Leonard, a Paul George. Then you got to deal with the
A
fact
returning Paul George who is back to how he was playing before he got injured.
exactly. You got that PG 13 back and full in the flesh. You're talking about a Lou Williams, a talented guy in Serge Ibaka, who's a really good big man in terms of defense and spreading the floor. So it's just like it's hard. You can't you got your star player on the opposing team has to have his best night if you want to beat a team like the Clippers or want to hang with
Or
them.
just a good night to
Yeah.
have a chance.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you increase that chance by the level of play that he has. The greater he is that day, the better the chance you have of winning.
Exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
real quick before we go off of this game, I just wanted to speak about Nicholas Batum, and I really think that he's been a great underrated pickup
Mm-hmm.
for this Clippers team that I don't see anybody really talking about it.
Oh
And
yeah, because look how he was in the Hornets. It was disgusting.
he was stealing the money, stealing Jordan's money. Okay, you're right. That's true. But now you can see how kind of like how he's playing in Portland. Those are his Portland days in his early years, and he's playing hard, and he can make open shots. He's a really good defender. He can do all the dirty work, and he's a really good player. And I really like that he's been a good fine addition to this Clippers team, and he's really been balling out.
Yeah.
But all right, like I said, Clippers got to win against the Warriors. And Paul George playing great again. We'll have to keep an eye on them for their future games, which I believe they play the Warriors again on Friday
Yeah,
tomorrow.
yeah. Okay. We're gonna say that for
Yeah,
prediction.
save it. All right. There was a lot that happened last night, so I'm pretty sure you have something that you wanted to speak about. So, any
I
play
think
performances, anything like that?
I think me and you both want to speak on it, man.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
57 and 3/4, 60 for the night in a
mm,
loss.
Bradley Beal is 1-4 when having over 50-point games. Does that not tell you the state of Washington?
Well, yeah, that is. But let's be honest though. That's not only the bright light, but let's talk about how good this Sixers team is.
Yes.
Offensively.
Yes. Hmm.
You know, they were balling until the Wizards looked like they were going to make a comeback. Don't get me wrong, because they did bring the game close. But the Sixers again, they have the spacing now, the shooters, everything. Like, and mind you, the Wizards don't play no defense. Let's hit
Yeah,
that.
man. I mean, yeah, they got no defense at all in the
So
Capitol or on the team.
let's just be honest here. The way that they was balling out, I mean, is kind of not like it's crazy how it got like this, but it's also not crazy when you look at the opposing team. But Curry, Green, Bede, Simmons, like their flow, their style, like the movement, everything is just so good. The ability to help get wide open shots from the three. Like, be more aggressive attacking the paint now because you know that you could create opportunities for others. It's just things like that goes. It just looks so well. And that's the reason why I had them as a contender, even though you clown me for having like 6 contenders in the Eastern Conference. Like, there's a reason to
Listen,
why
man, they can't be
I
no
said,
six championship contenders, all right? Like they can't be no six championship contenders. But
yeah,
I do agree with you. It's like the Celtics. The 76ers are like back into that form that they had
mhm.
before they made all those Elton Brand made all those stupid signings and stuff like that. Let me not clown him. He's not even the GM anymore. But yeah, like they got those pieces
There's a
back
reason.
and they got their spacing back. And now you can see with the way Embiid and Simmons are playing now. They're playing better.
Yeah.
And as a result, when your best players are playing better, your team is going to play better.
Mhm.
That's what happens. And when you actually have a competent coach,
Don't do that. Come on, man.
listen, Brent Brown was not fit for the Sixers job, and we know that. We both know that.
Yeah.
When you have a coach like Doc Rivers who can influence, you can build this around the system, and he can teach your players what to do and like how to play and how to maintain the system and stay true to it.
Yeah.
Then it's perfect basketball, and that's what we're getting. They have the best record in the league as of right now, and they're playing like it.
Yeah, exactly. Now we just gotta wait until the big moment, the postseason happens.
Yeah. Real quick before we leave about this topic, I want to talk about the Wizards. Yeah, Bradley Beal, my player to look out for, 57 and 3/4, but their fourth quarter play was terrible, especially in the final like 7 minutes. It was really bad.
Yeah.
We said 57 and 3/4, and he had 60 for the game. What does that tell you?
That he didn't play at all in the fourth quarter, or they wasn't giving him the
No,
ball.
he played in the fourth quarter, and they were giving him the ball, but the Sixers defense tightened up on him, and he
Mm.
couldn't really do a lot. Where either he had to take a tough shot or he had to pass out. I think he had one good open look and he missed it. But he didn't play that well in the fourth quarter. But I'm not gonna knock a man that scored 57 in the first 3 quarters and say, "Oh yeah, you didn't really have a good fourth quarter." I'm gonna speak about
Yeah.
the Wizards, who constantly has proven that their defense is terrible. Their defense is terrible. And sure, the Sixers gave up 136, but the Sixers won the game.
Yeah, that is
And the
true.
Sixers are 6-1. The Wizards have only won 2 games.
Yeah, 2 games. They only won 2 games.
And I believe they've given up how many times did they give up over 115 points in a game? Four?
Probably all the games. This is probably in almost all the games.
Like, geez, their
I don't.
defense is so bad. It's really bad. They can't guard anybody.
Exactly. And this is a really talented team with a lot of guys who have energy. So that's what's mind-blowing about it. This is a team that's talented with energy, and yet they can't get it done on the defensive end. And mind you, the second best player is a two-way star, a two-way superstar.
So on Russ,
And I'm not saying he's gonna, I'm talking about Russ. And it's just I'm not
you got
saying he's
Beal
gonna
better
make the
than
two.
Russ.
Well, for this team, the benefit of what the team is, of course,
All right.
you got to be the number one guy. Well, we all know better play. Come on now. But I'm just saying. But I'm just saying, like, even though he's not going to make that high impact, of course, but he's going to have a valuable impact, and young guys should be learning from that whatsoever. I don't know what's going on, how it is like that right here, but their defense, something has to fix with this defense. Something has to be done with this defense.
And it needs to get better with their fourth quarter play as well. There was a lot of dumb shots taken in that fourth quarter I did not like. But, yeah, a great performance by Beal, but an even sadder performance by the Wizards losing, and an even better performance by the Sixers, proving that they are a dominant, great team. At least.
So he kind of basically had 70.
I mean, it was a possibility, yes. All right, but what I wanted to talk about is, of course, I mean, is there really? Come on, man. Come on.
Hey, let me just say this. Utah has been having a bad break.
I'm gonna get into Utah in a minute. But let me talk about my Knicks.
Go ahead.
The New York Knicks. Listen, Tom Thibodeau, he might have a statue by the end of the season up at Madison Square Garden. I'm not gonna tell, because the way he has them playing, and he has them playing big minutes. He has them playing a lot of minutes, especially some of the stars. I think Julius Randle and RJ lead the league in minutes. But I think that just helps with their mentality that they got right now and the system that's in the works right now. They were down by 18 at halftime. They came all the way back on the back of Julius Randle, who's been having an all-star caliber season as of right now. He has been dominating. Rebounds, assists, block shots, steals, running the floor. It doesn't matter. Of course, scoring and posting up, it doesn't matter. He's been doing it all for this team. Off the backs of him, and in the fourth quarter, off of Austin Rivers. Austin Rivers, who came off the bench and he had a big game. He had 23, and I believe he had 14 or 11 points in the final 2 minutes of the game to close the game out and to seal the deal for this win against this Jazz team.
I don't think you know the joke, but there's a video that go out in which his girl got mad because he's like, he
I know. That's what happens when he goes to the gym. So you gotta let him be.
I was crying.
That was funny. And then he posted, he was like, she mad right now. When he's at the gym. Pull up the footage.
So? Can I have one day to myself?
Baby, I'm trying to just get work in.
You've been getting work in.
Yo, what is the issue? Maybe I can't go to practice late for just a couple hours.
You don't want to spend the fucking day with me? Also, you have a day off!
Yo.
You did this on fucking Christmas.
Huh?
You did this on Christmas.
She's hot right now. I was crying.
But I remember earlier when we first got Rivers, I made some jokes. I apologize, Rivers. I apologize. You keep playing like this, man. I don't care.
Like if you keep dubbing your girl every second, I love you.
That's our mama mentality. All right, it's that mama mentality. But yeah, as I said, and Elfrid Payton also, he had a great game as well, and he played big minutes as well, pushing them and leading them back to this game. and the Knicks is looking good, really good for them. It's looking really good for them, and I'm proud right
Don't
now
keep
and
your
how
hopes
they
high. Don't keep your hopes high. Come on now. We still know who's
and how they are playing as of right now. I'm
Yeah,
just
as of right
speaking.
now. Yeah, as of right now.
Yeah, as
Okay.
they're playing as of right now.
Because we know who
Now
the other team in New York is. That's all I gotta say.
we're not talking about them right now. They didn't even play last night.
I know we not. I'm just saying we know. I just want to say that before we go on.
People always want to take credit away from it. Like, give us our moment, please. Come on.
Sorry. Go
We had
on.
a lot of bad moments in the past 20 years. Give us this right now.
Yeah. We gonna give y'all this moment.
But, all right. That's from my perspective. As a Knicks fan and as just someone who knows basketball. Now, let's talk about the Utah Jazz.
Sorry.
I don't know if it's looking rough right now. I don't know if the New York City Rats bit them. Like, I don't know what's going on. But right now they had an embarrassing performance 2 nights ago against the Brooklyn Nets.
Mm-hmm.
Then you go in Manhattan, go to Madison Square Garden, have a lead against the Knicks, up 18, and then you blow that lead and you let Austin Rivers just obliterate, torch shot in the final 2 minutes.
Again, this is, and you know the Utah Jazz's caliber. This is a two-way team. The fact that they had the audacity to make Austin, and let's not be surprised about Austin Rivers anyway, because we saw him do this in a playoff game before.
Yeah, against the Blazers. Yeah, in game 4.
So he's been capable of doing moments like these, even though that's just only one moment. He's been capable of doing things like these. But you're a team that's supposed to be, your defensive mentality is supposed to be like this. It's supposed to be like this, and yet you're making guys like him go off on you like that.
I mean, they got a great defender in Mike Conley. I mean, that's the same guy that shut down Chris Paul in the playoff series. Maybe not shut him down, but he had great defense on him in the playoff series. They have Rudy Gobert, and I guess where Shaq said got to him. but he did have a little bounce back game. He did have a little bounce back game though. Actually, last night he played much better than he did against Jared Allen, 2 nights ago. Spider, I'm gonna call him Fly because that's what he was playing like last night. Right now he's a fly. Like, yeah. He only scored 18. He had a bad second half. And this Jazz team, hopefully this is just 2 games then. You know, I'm not gonna try to exaggerate it, but they have been playing really bad, and they've been disappointing in their level of play.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you something.
At least for these past 2 games.
As far as I noticed, it's talking about the 2 seasons, the season before, and I think his Donovan Mitchell's rookie season. The Utah Jazz has been a team that struggle early in the season, and then they gain that rhythm and momentum going throughout the season that help propel them. So I think this is just the Utah Jazz phase. Like, they struggle to start, and then as the time goes on, they just pick it up with pace so quickly that they're able to be like top 5 seeded in the conference. So let's just hope. At that point.
Top 5 seeded, then blow another 3-1 lead.
Yeah, come on, man.
Or losing the first round again. Maybe it's the ghost of Jerry Sloan. That's what I get for believing in Darren Williams and then firing him and then trading Darren Williams. So that's what I get.
A New York / Utah curse.
But that's what happened. As I said, disappointing in Jazz, but I'm really, really proud of the Knicks and how they're playing. And Tom Thibodeau has them playing great basketball as of right now.
Yeah, unlocking their potential.
Real quickly, there was a little upset, I guess you can call it, and a big performance by the money man, Gordon Hayward, down there in Atlanta. He dropped 44, I believe, 44 against the Hawks, and then led the Hornets to beat the Hawks in a big win for the Hornets, who haven't been playing the best basketball. They haven't been playing bad, but they've been there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all for performances of right now. So, what do you want to say to them?
I was gonna say you could bring up how James Harden struggled, like you know what I mean. Like casuals gonna come out of nowhere.
I mean, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, James Harden. I mean, I've seen him struggle before
Yeah.
in the playoffs.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Idea. Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on.
Okay. All right. By the way, we just wanted to give our prayers and thoughts to Markelle Fultz, who suffered a torn ACL in last night's Magic's win over the Cavs. It's really sad and disappointing because ever since he's been on the Magic, he's been playing really well. He's been trying to redeem himself after, what everybody had said about him and how he was playing in Philly and him being the number one pick and letting, being a bust and letting everybody down. And a lot of people did give up on him. I was one of them. I mean, everybody pretty much gave up on him. And he's really been playing really good basketball as of this season and last season when he got on the Magic. So
he already
prayers
been,
to
he been through some dark pitfalls, man. He's been through some hard times already, and to have this happen to him is just like, oh man, he has to go down again. But like, they always say, for every setback there's a major come up, right? So let's just hope it gets better from here.
Yep. So prayer and thoughts to Markelle Fultz. Hope for a speedy recovery.
Mm-hmm.
Predictions for tonight's set of games. There are only 5 games, but they should be interesting and they should be big time. So we could go right into it like we always do. First up, our game that we will be covering should be a interesting big game, even though their best player is currently in quarantine. However, it is still an intriguing matchup, which is the best record in the conference, 76ers, up against the Brooklyn Nets. Who do you have, John?
Dang, that would have been a good matchup for KD.
That would have been a good test for the 76ers as well.
Exactly. Oh. Well, the Nets' offensive firepower is still high, but I got the Sixers. I got the Sixers in this one.
Yep, I do have the Sixers as well, but I won't be surprised when the Nets come out gunning and really keep this close and could pull off a win, even without KD. The Cavs or the Grizzlies?
Cavs.
I got the Cavs as well. The second primetime game that we'll be talking about, which is, of course, the 2 international stars matchup between the Mavericks and the Denver Nuggets. So who do you have?
I got the Nuggets in this one. I know they haven't been playing well so far this season, but they're picking it up. But I got them with this.
I agree with you, and I have the Nuggets as well, just for that same reason.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, the Spurs or the Lakers?
The Lakers.
I'm picking a little upset. I got the Spurs. They were close the last time they played, just some bad fourth quarter play late.
Mm-hmm.
They have Aldridge back, and I think that he'll be even more ready than he was in their game where they upset the Clippers.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And lastly, the Timberwolves or the Blazers?
Blazers.
Blazers as well. All right. I think it's time to wrap things up. Any final thoughts, John?
No, just I'm happy for your Knicks for right now. Don't get your hopes up.
Please, I know. I'm a Knicks fan. But with that, thank you guys for watching today's pod. Make sure to tune into tomorrow's podcast. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And once again, I am Evan.
And I'm Ja.
And this was the Mind of Basketball podcast.